Hi there guys, Pippin Henderson here for another MCI Studio tutorial. Another quick one for you now. We're going to be looking at frequency cutting, a little trick that I think you should all be aware of if you're not already. And this really is sweeping across the frequency spectrum, finding an area within that spectrum that may have artifacts or any hissing or humming that you may want to get rid of. Sweeping across those frequencies, fine-tuning them with the cue, and then cutting them out altogether from the EQ. Now I've got a good example of this. I've got a vocal track here, and we're using the Sonitus EQ for this. And you'll notice that around the sort of 9.5K region, we have a cut in the frequency. Now this is because before we did the cut, the vocal had a very high sibilance to it, had a high hiss to it whenever S's was sounded or anything like that, and it was very difficult to get rid of. So without having to redo the whole vocal, we swept across the high band frequency, sort of like I said, around the 9K region, and we found the point at which the S's were coming through a lot more than anywhere else, and we just simply cut that frequency. Now we have got quite a wide Q on it, but we found that was the sweet spot for the moment. Now the principle behind this is, let's have a listen to the vocal without that cut in that frequency, and let's just see if you can hear the problem that I heard when I first heard the vocal. So let's have a listen.
The sound of my life, and we have become one.
Okay, so as you can hear, hopefully, there is a lot of high end there. There's a lot of hiss. Even without her pronouncing any kind of S's, there's just this constant high-pitched hissing that's going on. And we needed to clean that up. And we did a few things, apart from the EQing, to fix this. But this was one of the things that helped out a lot. And it's something that you should keep in mind, sort of have it in your arsenal that you can use if you think you need it. So the idea is you come to, say for instance, the Sonitus EQ, and this is a very good one because it's very accurate when it comes to sweeping such as this. And this is because we're allowed to up the Q extremely high. Now, when you get to the high band, you may have a different type of filter, but on this particular occasion, we're in band 5, and we wanted the peak dip filter, and this is what's going to allow us to up the Q level all the way to 24. Now this gives us a really narrow Q, and it's perfect for sweeping because it's cutting through very fine. It's cutting through the frequencies and just getting to the problem frequency that we're after. Now originally it was down here somewhere, the frequency, so we started off at around 4K ish, I think it was. And basically what you do is you leave it like that, you play the track, and you sweep the frequency as the track is playing. When you hit that point, you know it, because you suddenly realise, you sort of go ow, and that frequency doesn't belong there, and I don't want it in there, and then you just simply cut it. So let's have a listen, and what I'll do is I'll sweep the frequency now, so you can get an idea of what to listen out for. So let's have a listen. In fact, before we do that, let me just loop it because it might take a bit longer. Okay, so let's have a listen.
The sound of my life, and we have become one. The sound of my life, and we have become one. The sound of my life, and we
Okay, I'm sorry if your ears hurt throughout that. I might have to have turned down for that particular moment. But you'll notice that as we got further up the frequency, the more the hiss that was being brought out. And that's obviously because when we got to the higher bands, we've got this frequency that we've upped because of the Q. And what we're doing is we're focusing in on that particular frequency, and we've boosted it by 18 dB. So it's it's going to be very prominent. So when you do hit a problem frequency, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And so around here, it was around 9K-ish we found the issue. And then what you do then, once you found it, is you simply just cut it. You just bring the gain all the way down and cut it. And then you can refine it with the Q. And we had quite a wide Q. It was around a 5-ish area. So let's have a listen now before and after. So this is before.
The sound of my life and rehab become
And this is after, so we're just cutting that frequency now.
the sound of my life and rehab become
And play it again, and I'll switch it back and forth so you can get an idea. This is without.
the sound of my life and rehab become
Now, subtle changes like this are very difficult to kind of get through when it's being, there's all kinds of compression happening with the video and uploading it to YouTube. But I hope you notice the difference. It's a very, very, very simple technique. There's nothing complicated about it at all, but it's just something that you should be aware of that you can do to enhance vocals. You can do this with anything, with drums. If you've got a hi-hat that has too much high end, anything. I mean, literally anything. Synth, all kinds. So I do suggest, obviously, that if it's too bad, re-record it. Get it right from the source. But if you're in a position where you can't re-record something, you have to make do. And little things like this really do help. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learnt something. Like I said, not very complicated, but something simple that works. So go ahead and give that a go, and I will see you very soon for another tutorial. Take care.